Scarlet Nexus is a musical masterpiece. I've seen that people are super 50-50 if they love or hate the soundtrack for this game, but even if it's not your style, you have to admit, musically the songs are interesting, especially the other tracks. And I really just want to gush over some of the tracks from one of my favorite video game OSTs of all time. The game first gives you control, and where I first realized that the music was freaking good, in Suoh, a sparkling red Metropolitan. Normally I have the game sounds turned down, but this was the first game in a long time that I went into the settings and I cranked that shit. I found myself just opening up the game and sitting in Suoh while I was doing other things just to have this song on loop. It's a banger to relax to, and it's absolutely fantastic background music to boot. Your first real taste of how hard the soundtrack can go is when The Other Appeared plays. This is when you get the true feel for the game and how messed up this world really is. From the very beginning of the song, you have the sirens going off being like, okay, this is fight time. And then you go into this super weird melody that feels slightly uncomfortable and really just becomes completely discordant and fucked. The really weird part is when the song actually starts saying bring the bass and the beat back like it's self-aware and the song is ending and it's trying to force itself to keep going. It's just such an interesting track to listen to. The tracks of each individual map are bangers as well, and one of my personal favorites is Fadert Bustles. It just grooves so well, and it's super easy to listen to. This is probably my favorite background beat ever, and there's nothing too overpowering itself in the song that would break your focus, and it just keeps the groove going for 6 whole minutes. Honestly, you would never hear the full duration of some of these tracks just because they get interrupted by things happening around the map, specifically the other tracks. The other tracks are essentially hard remixes of other map tracks with a lot more electronic and discordant parts. These play during combat with the others themselves, and since we're already talking about Fadert Bustles, here's the Fadert Bustles, The Other. It's a lot harder on dubstep emphasis with rises, falls, growls all over the place. This track itself isn't as glitched out as some of the others. But it takes the main melody of the original and takes it to a whole new level. Another really good track and something you might recognize from my outro Welcome to Musubi's. Is another huge favorite of mine. This only plays whenever you actually go to Musubi's Cafe, and the song really just makes me feel like I'm in a Japanese cat cafe or something. This song would be an absolutely fantastic dance track. The whoops of the notes in the main melody just really make the thing jam. And finally, we're going to go over to my favorite track of the game, an Acrobat in the rainbow-colored skies. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is that name? Well, I have no clue, but this song is super fucked, and that's what makes me love it. Just listen to it for a second. Who writes a song that opens with a laugh and scream, and then it moves into the super strange part that I can't even describe, and plays discordant circus music? Like, holy shit, the song is so fucked, and I love it. I love it. And then the fight progresses into versus Dominus Circus 4th form. And this song is really just a continuation of Acrobat. It takes Acrobat in Rainbow Colored Skies and remixes it into this really strange and uncomfortable happy song that's mildly distorted, similar to the other tracks. This track is so good for how disturbing this fight really is. And then it loops, and it does the strange rewind effect. God, this whole track is just so good. Scarlet Nexus has some of the most interesting music in a video game I've ever listened to. It has super casual songs, it's super fucked stuff. Honestly, Scarlet Nexus as a whole is just super underrated, especially musically. I thought the game's story was pretty good, and really the music for the game is what kept me coming back. I've seen a lot of people complain about the combat, but I really can't even see how, when you have so many different ways to approach things, that if the combat is boring, that was your own fault. But that's another video for another time. I've got a link to a playlist with all the Scarlet Nexus music in the description. The only song that I think is not on that playlist is versus Dominus Circus 4 Form. And a link to specifically that one is going to be down there too. Make a sequel to the game, please. I wish I could talk about other songs that are not just from video games, but, you know, DMCA and all that. If you enjoyed listening to me gush about the music from Scarlet Nexus and or listening to the music from Scarlet Nexus, lightly tap, just gently tap that subscribe button for me. And I'll see you next time.